Hi, everybody. This is Nanette Kennedy, and I'm here with my partner, Dee Meyer. We both run the Spirituality in Action program, and we just want to, first of all, thank you for being our financial supporters. Without you, we couldn't get this work done, so we really want a heartfelt thanks to you. And this is our November Spirituality in Action call, and we have a very wonderful guest, Dr. Linda Linker Rosenthal. And she is the innovative heart behind Inside Out Visionary Healing's Art Center in Northwest Indiana, with doctorate degrees in metaphysical healing and transpersonal psychology. Linda's personal journey led her through the maze of codependency in a 30-year marriage with her husband's addictions to help, and then to heal herself and becoming a compassionate, holistic health advocate for others. Her story is down to earth, and the approach to her spirituality has inspired and transformed the lives of thousands of people for over 20 years, guiding them to ignite their own loving light, awaken their soul's purpose, and live a life of forgiveness, acceptance, and joy. Linda's magnetic energy brings both integrity and humor to her work, and I can attest to this, as an energy healer, speaker, teacher, and co-creative leadership, currently working as an agent of conscious evolution. She is a recording artist and the author of 3 imaginative books on higher consciousness, including her newest award-winning book, The 7 Chakra Sisters, Make Friends with Inner Allies Who Keep You Healthy, Laughing, Loving, and Wise. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you. Thanks, Nanette and Dee. It's really a pleasure to be here. I'm so honored that you've invited me to be the November guest for Spirituality in Action.
It is our pleasure, and we like to start all of our calls with a spiritual experience. And for those of you who haven't heard Linda before, she is amazing. So, Linda, we'd like to ask if you would mind doing a brief spiritual experience for us at the start of the call, and then a longer one later in the call. So we'll ask everyone to please stay with us throughout the call, and at the end of the call, you'll get to experience a full-on large meditation from Linda. Would that work for you?
That's fine with me.
Great.
2 minutes. So let's just get into that experience, wherever it takes us. And I would invite us to, wherever we are, close our eyes and take a breath. And as we take that breath, we know that we're going to be connecting with the source of that breath, the source of life, connecting to the source of energy, the whole life force that is called by so many names: Creator, Universe, God, Love, Source, the cosmos. And just imagine that we are on a gyroscope and it is spinning us around so that we're seeing ourselves and we're actually being it at the same time, so that we dissolve those boundaries between here and there and that we become one in the experience. And as we spin around in this gyroscope, it spins off our skin, our muscles, our bones, until the only thing that's left is a grid of light, golden light. And when we look deep inside one tiny cell of that grid of light, we can see the whole universe, and that is us. And as we pause for a moment in this place, we can breathe in and out, and that inhale and exhale, that contraction, that expansion, just like our breath, we are connecting to the breath of the universe, feeling it and experiencing the oneness. And in that oneness, we know that we breathe the same breath together. We are from this same energy, this light, this source. So being it and witnessing it at the same time. In that oneness, we come back now, beginning to contract our energy through our breath, coming back into the heart center and back into our physical bodies, and back into wherever you are in your room, in your chair, bringing your awareness to the next few moments or hour that we will be speaking together, sharing together in this oneness. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You do that so well. I've been on some other calls with you where you've been put on the spot. You just You do it. You do it well. So thank you for
I'm
that.
in it. Thank you, and I have experienced that. I'm going to add a little P.S. When Barbara Marx Hubbard was in Chicago and we had the award ceremony, I was asked to lead the opening meditation like that, and boy, it was a fast journey. and we expanded so far. We came back and it was, short like that. And Barbara actually said that it was the perfect meditation to bring her into her presentation that evening. So thanks. It came from an experience that I've had myself, and I wanted to share it.
Well,
that connecting with the
job.
big matrix of the universe. Yeah, it's quite a feeling.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Thank you again. Yes, here we are. And I'm going to start the first question about your new book, The Seven Chakra Sisters. And I'm just going to kind of let you run with it, and we'll, ask some questions in between. But I want to know what inspired you to write The Seven Chakra Sisters.
Well, when you say we're going to run with it, I just imagined these 7 little personalities inside of me with their little shoes on, and they're just kind of running. And that's my heart pumping, that's my adrenaline, that's my energy. But what inspired me is that, oh gosh, I think they inspired me. It was a part of myself that I was trying to learn about. I really, through the long journey of my healing experiences in life, the chakras kept coming up for everything. And I just wanted to know more about it. And every time I would read about it or go to teachers and learn about it and even try to teach it, it was kind of the same way of learning these 7 colored little dots, and that, yes, they had colors, and this is what they stood for, and this is the stone you could use, and this is the Sanskrit name for them, and I couldn't remember it. And I realized that in my life, I was going through a period of time, and I kept saying, I need, I want, I have to. And I thought, everybody's doing that. We all have needs, we all have wants, we all have to do something. And this was the very beginning of my spiritual journey, so I was stuck in the needs, wants, and have-tos of the first, second, and third chakra. And I realized if I could remember my humanity, those lower 3 chakras, with the names that would help me know what they were all about, I came up with Anita, Ivana, Ahafta. And so the 7 chakra sisters were inspired by them. They started to talk to me. And I saw them as little personalities. As I was writing the book, I thought I had multiple personality disorder, but it was a lot of fun because I pulled them together, and that was the whole idea. The inspiration is to let people know that we are one within ourselves. It's our humanity in the first 3 chakras about our needs, our wants, our have-tos, and then connecting in the heart of love, so that chakra sister is Alavya, and then connecting higher into the spiritual realms from our neck to our head to the crown of our head, which is Singya, You See Me, and I Am Own. And Ayamon, if you break her name down, is I Am One. And that was the feeling that I wanted to express. I was inspired by, there's a way that we can let people know that we're one, both our humanity, our spirituality, within our one body, which is the same as everyone else's. And so the inspiration came from them, and it came from where do they live. And I saw the human body as a crystal castle, the crystal castle being embedded in a mountain called Mount I Know Me Now. So it's a way for us to know ourselves, and I think that's the key. Know yourself. Work together with yourself. Stop fighting with yourself. Stop that inner conflict. Find that peace and the love that is being communicated with all of the chakras back and forth together so that we are whole and complete and can be effective change makers in the world. But it starts with us. So you can see what happens when you say run with it. My little Singya, who's very communicative, just runs away with it. So I'll pull them back in, and does that answer the question about what inspired me?
I think it does.
Yeah. So I really
go ahead.
I love this.
Oh well, let me add. I'm sorry. I was going to add this little PS to that. The inspiration was that it's written as a fairy tale, and it's written through storytelling, which is a different way for people to learn about themselves, about the chakras, rather than just a left brain how-to manual. So, yes, I wanted to add that PS in there. Sorry, but thank you.
I love the book, and I read it as I was waiting to be rescued by a helicopter. So I was in the midst of reading Meet Your Chakra Sisters. And
wow.
I absolutely loved it. And I was having this epiphany that many of us on the spiritual path feel like we've fully engaged the upper four, but it's the bottom three, Anita, Ivana, and Ahafta, that are not engaged properly in a loving manner to become really a fully functioning, full chakras flowing correctly. What do you think of that?
Oh, I think that's absolutely right on what you just said. I don't know how I can say it any better. The fact that we're in what we like to call a meat suit, the meat suit, our physicality, our matter, that we matter, is the way that our spirit moves through onto the earth plane. So if we don't have this physical reality, our physical health is so important. It is making sure that we have our basic needs met. And I know, Dee, you were going through that when you lost your home. You know, our basic need of shelter. Find me something safe so that I can feel safe in the world. And food and water, basic needs. And I feel like right now with so many people being displaced from their homes, from storms, from war, from conflict, it's you can imagine then how everyone's root chakra is not functioning with the proper energy that it needs so that we can stay healthy. And that's about our foundation. You know, if we build a house but we don't have a strong foundation, it's going to collapse. And so Anita, Ivana, and Ahafta. And once we get our basic needs met, which is so important, just basic exercise, food, clean water, shelter, safe touch, and we begin to move up to Ivana, she's the one that has a lot of fun with it. She's Ivana. Ivana, have fun. Ivana, have pleasure in life. Ivana, have joy and appreciation and friendships. And so they're very important in the world that Ivana brings us with our duality. Yes, there's me, but now there's other. And then the third chakra, Ahafta, she's our confidence center. She's the fire element. So we'll go through this a little bit more at the end of our interview today, so that people can experience it. But I think you're absolutely right, Dee. It's that if we're going to be spiritual people, we have to bring them down. We have to bring that wisdom and those insights down into our body and down onto the earth plane, so that we truly are living spirituality in action. That's what this is about. That's what Humanity's team is doing. That's the whole idea of how do I bring my God self onto the earth plane and live it that way. So, I think you're absolutely right. We have to pay attention to being in the body. When I first had clients, wow, can I just add this little story in there?
Please, yeah.
That I used to, when I was first teaching Reiki, I had a store, so it was a store, metaphysical store, gifts, and a healing center. And one woman came in as a client. She wanted to receive Reiki. And it turned out that she was a retired nun, a Catholic nun. And she sat down in the chair and said, I've never felt real comfortable in my body. And I looked at her and I said, you have to be in your body to do this work. And I realized later down the road that, and this is not to, this is just the way it is I'm not saying this, please don't anyone be offended, but they take vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, which is the antithesis of poverty. Means Anita doesn't get anything. She doesn't have any needs met. Chastity is that Ivana's not having any pleasures or fun. And obedience is that Ahafta, who is our self-confidence center, never gets to fully develop that she is always being obedient to something or someone else. So that's our self-confidence. Those things happen in the upper chakras, and I realized, wow, this woman has just been in her upper chakras all the time. So spiritual people can do that, but if you're not in your body, you're not really bringing it, as I said, to earth. So how did I get on that?
Well, I don't know, but it was interesting.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
We actually, our next question was, tell us a little bit more about your life's work. So you were naturally stepping in to the direction we wanted to head. So we do want to know more about the Reiki and your other work that you've done throughout your life.
Well, when you say throughout my life, I would have to go back to when I was a child and had very vivid dreams and very mystical, I suppose, metaphysical connection with God. And so I didn't realize at the time that it was part of my path, part of my life's work. But I had dreams where I was, just bathed in golden light, those types of things, or a big tube would come down around me, and it would just say, this is God protecting you. And I was a little girl, and I had no idea where that came from, but it felt wonderful. A lot of dreams of ESP, people walking around in white robes on terrace hillsides, and I was a child dreaming the dream as a child and knowing that the adults were so loving and they were communicating telepathically. And when I turned on one of those terraces, I looked up to the sun, and the sun just filled me with this golden white light, and it felt warm, it felt wonderful, it felt loving, and I knew there was a reality of a world that I was part of, and I always would be. So as I grew up in my life's work, I think probably the first work was having a family. And I think our spiritual work is just that relationship, having a family, raising 3 children, and having a husband at the time who eventually became very addicted to pain medications because he was a runner and he fell and he hurt his back. And this happened right after his sister passed away. So a whole lot was happening in the family that he wasn't grieving about. And I was trying to find myself in the midst of him not finding himself. And that led to so many directions. I would get books for him and tapes for him about healing, and how could he heal this back pain that he was in, because he found some drugs that were making him be out of pain, but I knew it was deeper than that. So I'm trying to find these natural ways, and he was just the opposite. And that really kind of started my journey. I kept looking at, wow, there's got to be another way for people to be out of their pain, their mental pain, emotional pain, physical pain. And so everything that I bought for him to read and learn and do, he wasn't doing, and I started reading and learning and doing. So he definitely was an angel in my life. And I grew in that area of healing, self-healing, went to visit some healers who were out of town, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to keep going to their courses. This was before the Internet and before we could get so much of the information that we have now in the comfort of our home. I had to travel, and I was going up to Connecticut to work with this beautiful healer. And someone there said, well, if you don't want to be traveling, 5 times a year and you have 3 children and you want to be a healer, why don't you look into Reiki? I had no idea what Reiki was, and it took me in Indiana 2 years to finally find someone who would teach Reiki to me. So I felt like, wow, this is beautiful and something I want to dive into. How can I learn it? How can I teach others? So that led me to a Reiki master teacher who led me to go to school where she was and had her doctorates in transpersonal psychology. And I did the same thing and learned how to heal myself, number one, and then became a therapist, and I'm helping others through this healing. Wow, that's a long story for my life's work, but from that, I was doing a lot of journaling, and the journaling led me to teaching classes on following your intuition and writing and journaling classes and inner sanctuary training, meditation courses, so that I was able to start to share some of the insights that I was getting. And my journaling did lead me to open up what I call my first little center in my home. It was, and I called it Insight Out. Our healing comes from the inside out, but this was a little play on words. It was really the insight I was getting just from my writing, and I've always loved, I'm going to put another little PS in there, Neil Donald Walsh was so influential as well when he wrote Conversations with God. I was reading his books and realizing, wow, we've had the very same conversations. So what I'm writing down and what he's written down, I know we're talking to the same God, and it just felt so validating and reaffirming. And that really, just everything's been snowballing. It's just been me wanting to find myself and then reach out to others and share the message of oneness. I would have conscious conversations in my home. I would just invite people over, little healing circles. And the very first time I had a healing circle in my home, one woman came to the door. I think I posted a flyer at Barnes & Noble bookstore. And I didn't know who was coming. I was very brave. I was very naive and courageous. It's like, oh, I just want to share this. Come on over. We'll sit and have a little healing circle. And so one person came, and I called it my healing line. It was the two of us. And then the next week it was a healing triangle because 2 people came. And then we had a square because there were 4 of us, and it just kept growing until it became a circle. And then, sometimes the space was too big, and we'd have to set it up as an oblong. So people started coming, and that's really my life's work has just been kind of gathering. It's interesting. My maiden name is Linker, which is why I put that Linda Linker Rosenthal. And if you think about what a linker is, it's someone that links things together. And I link people together. It's just fun to do. And I link the chakras together, and I link the human with the spirit and the divine, and I link heaven and earth. So that's why linker is there. Okay, I've talked a lot.
No, that was really very, very, very interesting because even though we've spoken on the phone many times, I'm learning lots more about you. And when you were talking about your healing circle in your home, and you just had a healing line because there's only 2 people there, you really had to do what, speaking of Neil says you need to get out of your comfort zone sometimes to make these things happen, and it sounds like you certainly did.
Yeah. Oh, everything. And especially going to school, while my husband was going down a road of being more and more addicted to narcotics and his pain medication, and his personality was changing, I was going in a direction where my personality was changing because I was growing and learning and stretching that comfort zone. And, oh, my gosh, it was really hard for me to break away and go out of town or even just down the street to a class when I was married to someone who was, God bless him, and we have already forgiven all of that. So I am free to be able to speak about it now. And he has since passed away. But it was very difficult to be with someone who is very possessive and controlling and fearful, and took a lot of courage for me to keep breaking out. But I just felt like God was guiding me, and I didn't know how not to grow. It was a difficult time to grow and be held back at the same time by someone else. So I hope that helps someone.
Yeah, that does
listening.
help. It really does. And one of the things it leads me into is, how does what you were just telling us, and you were talking about your writing and journaling classes, speak to the dark night and what that means to you?
Well, if I hadn't had my journals, I guess I realized that I didn't have anyone to talk to. I was married to a wonderful businessman, and I lived in a nice neighborhood, and I lived in a nice house, and everything looked right, and it just didn't feel right for me. And I started writing down, I think it began like as a living will when my sister-in-law passed away at age 36. This was, I don't even know if I can go into it here, but my brother married my husband's sister. So there was a brother and a sister in a family that married a brother and a sister. So when my sister-in-law died, it was like my own sister had died. And I was questioning everything from life, death, God, relationship, to have someone so young die. She had Hodgkin's. And actually it was in the early 80s, and I believe from all the transfusions that she had that she actually died from AIDS, but they did not know what it was at the time. So I started journaling to question life, and through that, knowing someone who dies so early in life and was so beautiful, and she just had a zillion friends. And I felt like, wow, she just lived so much in those short years, and I want to be able to live a lot in whatever years I have and make them count. And so I think this is paying homage to Julie, who really showed me the value of living life just fully and completely until the end. And so the dark night really was when she died, and my husband and his family didn't really know how to deal with it. I was the only one who listened to her actually say, look, somebody's got to stop being in denial. I'm going to die, and I need someone to just let me do it in peace. And that was a real kick for me, because I was that person. And so I knew that I was a good listener, but that dark night went on for maybe 17 years. That's a long time, but it was a journey of of writing down about life and questions that I had, and getting those insights that we're more than our physical body, and we do live beyond this life, but it is what we leave behind in the actions that we take and what we do while we're alive here on Earth. So the dark night again, with my husband really getting so bad that we had to file for a divorce after 30 years of raising 3 children and a marriage. It was very heartbreaking. But I knew that with addictions, he couldn't help it, and I was trying to see life clearly, and I was being flushed down a toilet, so to speak, and I was hanging on to the rim. It's like, I don't want to go down with you. So unfortunately, we had to separate and get our names apart from each other so I could survive a little bit. And then 1 year after the divorce, he died. I will say that coming through that dark night was everything that I needed to go through so that I could be a compassionate healer with others. I needed to go through it myself. The journey was about me, my family, and how I related and how I could find love in the midst of that dark night, how I could find some light that would carry me forward. That was my connection to God. In the midst of, insecurity and dishonesty and all the things that go along with relationships that are dysfunctional, I was right there in the middle of it. So,
wow.
Yeah, wow.
What I was going to say is that, and Dee and I have talked about this so many times. When you're listening to someone's story, like we've just been listening to yours, it's very inspiring. And, I'm sitting here listening and thinking, well, she went through that 17 years of the dark night, and all of us have our dark nights. So, and I just think I can get through it. She got through it. And I know I've gotten through previous dark nights, but it's so inspiring and hopeful to hear you tell your story.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it was worth something that I went, the payoff is now. But I had this wonderful epiphany in somewhere along the line, and there's so many ins and outs to our personal stories of our dark night and the grief that we go through. And it was a phone call that we got about 10 o'clock at night that Rob had been in a car accident, and he had a seizure, and I thought it was from all the drugs he was taking, and it was just bad. And this was after so many times of recovery and not working, and then going back into recovery and not working, and he had this car accident. Thank God no one was killed. He really went over 4, I think it was almost 8 lanes of highway that he managed to not hit another car and go down a ravine. And so I had to go out in the countryside, that's where he was, to this little hospital that he was at, and follow the ambulance back to a local hospital. And as I was driving out there, this is a great story. If we have time, can I share it? As I was driving out there, I'm screaming to God, and I'm crying in the car. It's like, why is this happening? Why are we still together? Why is he still alive? What is this all about? And I'm screaming to God, answer me. What am I doing? Why can't I break out of this cycle? There's always something. And so I'm following, and it is a dark night. And we turn the corner right before we get to the local hospital. And I'm looking at the doors of the ambulance in front of me, knowing he's in there, and I'm in my car following it. And I look up, and I'm really upset with God. And I look up, and I see this bank marquee. And the white sign against the dark night sky and the black letters, and it says, "Come visit our trust department." And when I read it, it felt like God was in the car just saying that to me. Come visit our trust department. You think we're going to answer your questions about why this is happening? You got to go through this because you need to learn something. And it was like, it made me laugh. It's like, oh my God, here I am screaming to God, like, tell me, answer me why I'm going through all my problems. And it's like, visit the trust department, Linda. We can't tell you right now where your life's going to be down the road. You wouldn't believe us if we told you. So just trust. And I had to laugh. I did. And, that's just one story that has shown me that my path is where I'm supposed to be. I'm always where I'm supposed to be, with the right person at the right time, at the right place for all the right reasons. And I've come to trust that, and that really helps my life. I don't get wrapped up in too many little minutia problems because I know I'm always at the right place at the right time with the right people for the right reasons. So,
well, that really is the truth. You have been asked to be a part of Celebrate Your Life conference, which I want to congratulate you on. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Well, that's kind of exciting. I will be in Scottsdale, Arizona in February from the 14th to the 16th, and I'll be speaking on Saturday afternoon. It's in Celebrate Your Life with Love, and they have invited me. This is my first time as an author because of my book, The Seven Chakra Sisters. They are giving me a chance to be presented as a spiritual author and teacher, so I feel very honored. And I am going to go and call upon all of my chakra sisters to calm down and not do their happy little jiggy dance that makes me nervous, but to do a waltz inside so that I can be calm and be a presenter for Celebrate Your Life. And what an honor to be on the speaker page, which I hope everyone will go see at celebrateyourlife.org. And find the one for the event coming up in Scottsdale, Arizona in 2014 over Valentine's weekend. But to be on the same page with Neil Donald Walsh and Barbara Marks Hubbard and Marianne Williamson and Greg Braden and Dr. Joe Dispenza, and, oh my gosh, just going on and on. Please look it up. But to see little old me right there is
it's huge.
Really amazing.
So
and my chakra.
I said it's huge, and we're so excited for you.
Thank you.
We promised everyone a closing chakra experience. Nanette, do you have any closing thoughts before we do that? I'll invite you to jump in here too, but after that, maybe Linda, you could do our closing chakra experience.
I'd be happy to.
Okay. I first want to say it's been a delight, and you have a very compelling story, and I think a lot of people will find hope in it. And I also think that people who have not yet read your book and who may not really understand the chakras, I know a little bit about the chakras, but the thing I found so delightful is I didn't feel like I was reading a textbook, which is, I don't like textbooks. And I was really moved along with the story, and I thought it was ingenious that you personified the chakras, and it just tickled me from start to finish. So you might want to just mention the website where people, we'll do this twice, you can mention it now, where they can buy your book, and then we can, if Dee's got any closing thoughts, I'll hand it over to you.
Well, thank you. Yes, you can get the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It does come in ebooks. You can go to my website, which is just my name, www.lindalinkerrosenthal.com. So it's LindaLinkerRosenthal. So LindaLinkerRosenthal.com, and you can find my books there, all of my books, The Seven Chakra Sisters, And I also have another website, but right now it is acting up, and I don't know if we're in Mercury retrograde or not, but that is insightout-healing.com. So if it's down, please be patient, and we'll get it back up online. Something's happening. So my closing thoughts would be to remember that we are one, really. You and your chakra sisters. Thank you, Dee, for the kind words about personifying them. It's been so much fun working with them. It's been fun being on this interview call with both of you. Beginning to look at everybody as my sisters, even my brothers as my sisters. So I just feel like, I'm related. And that closing thought would be that to remember we are one unit of 7 different beings, those chakras that are bringing that energy into us, and that in that oneness we are the same as everyone who have these same personality traits or qualities from each chakra. And in that oneness, let's just keep remembering it, keep breathing it in and out as who we are. And that comes with love. That's the breathing in and breathing out of love. So shall I take us into our little journey?
Please.
And must be. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Take
so
it away.
With that breathing in and out, let's just close our eyes. And I'm going to first help us move to the idea that it's easy for us to visualize. Because this is very visual. The book is written very visually. There's a lot of description. And I want people to see this, the floors of this crystal castle. So I'm going to take you first on a very quick little journey to show you that you can visualize very easily. So just imagine yourself. Now close your eyes and imagine that you're standing in your kitchen. Easy to do. Go to the refrigerator. When you open the door of the refrigerator, you're going to see that nothing is in there. This is your refrigerator. You know what it looks like normally. There's nothing in there except on the center shelf there is an apple. So see the apple and take it out of the refrigerator. Close the refrigerator door and walk over to your sink in the kitchen and run it under the water. I know you can see this. I know you can do it. Just look at this apple, feel it, see the red, see the green, the yellow, whatever it is. Take a crunch out of that apple and hear it crunching and feel the juice in your mouth. And then just take that apple and look at it and see where you've taken a big bite out of that apple. And then go back to the refrigerator, open it up, and put that half-bitten apple back on the shelf and close the refrigerator door. And then bring your attention right back into where you are. So there's no problem with you visualizing. And if I could say, raise your hand, tell me if you saw that, I'm hoping that all of you who are listening are saying, yeah, I could see that easily. So that's how we're going to be with the crystal castle. So as you close your eyes, just begin to breathe. And as you breathe in and breathe out, you realize that there is no here and no there. You're breathing in the same breath of the universe, and you're breathing out the expansion and the contraction, just like the cells of the body. And so, with your imagination intact now, look out in front of you and imagine a crystal castle that's there. And in this crystal castle, there's 7 floors, all lit up, bright. You can see right through it. So I want you to walk up to the doors, huge, massive, pink quartz doors of this crystal castle, and just see how the doors open up right in front of you magically. And when you walk in on the ground floor, you're going to meet your sister Anita, the chakra of the root. The root chakra sister is standing there in the foyer of a red room. It's more than a room. It's the huge foyer. And there's golden spiral staircases right behind Anita, and she's standing there. And you can see that there are trees and big red rocks, and there's earth on her floor at the foyer when you walk into the castle. This is the root. This is what anchors all of the sisters down into Mother Earth. So Anita is the sister who's going to have good, strong legs, good foundation. She's sitting there and she's going to talk to you anytime you need to know what she needs to help you have a strong foundation, to feel safe and secure in life. So you're going to meet Anita in this beautiful red room and begin to walk up the spiral staircase. It's golden, and the spiral staircase leads to the second floor. On the second floor, you're going to meet Ivana. And when you walk into her area, you can see that there are waterfalls and rivers and ponds and lakes and fountains. She's all about the water. And Ivana has silks and fabrics and smells and just beautiful energy on her floor. She's very friendly, and it's orange. The orange birds of paradise flowers are everywhere. And Ivana is our juicy part of life. Ivana is the juicy sister. So see that orange tree that's right there, dripping with sweetness and juiciness. That's Ivana's place. Have a drink of orange juice. This is Ivana's pleasure. That is her treasure, is to bring pleasure. So the birds of paradise is what is hanging out in Ivana's second floor of your crystal castle. If you can imagine, there is no here or there. As you witness this, you are also in it. You are moving up into your body now, up into the solar plexus. As you climb up the spiral staircase in that solar plexus, you're going to see Ahafta. And Ahafta is the sister of...
I'm sorry, I think that we have temporarily lost Linda. Give us 1 second and we'll try to bring her back on. Nanette, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you, and I was really into listening to that too.
Me too. Can you see if you could bring Linda back on?
Let me see if I can. Okay, hold on.
Okay, that would be great. And so we've been chatting with Linda Linker Rosenthal, and we've been meeting the chakra sisters in this meditation: Anita, Ivana, Ahafta, Alavya, Singya, You See Me, and I Am One. This is just an amazing book that is, I think it would make a great holiday gift for especially young adults, and up into everybody really would enjoy it. But it gives us this storytelling insight into the chakras.
Ahafta's back.
Oh, wonderful.
I don't know what happened, but Ahafta just was on fire. She burned up the phone lines.
Okay, well, I'm going to quit chatting and let you come back in. We're so happy to have you back, Linda.
I don't know what happened, but as we move up this this is what happens in the world of humanity. We have these glitches, and so Ahafta says, it's okay. I feel good about myself. I can get through this. And we move up into the next level, which is the heart. That's Alavya. So let's breathe for a moment, because that was so unusual and feeling disconnected like that. Alavya is the part of us in the heart, in her open, airy, full of light and fans and feathers. It's all about the breath. It's all about that heart energy and that love energy. And Alavya is the one that says, it's all right, whatever happens with Anita and Ivana and Ahafta. I love them being in that world of ego, being in that world of needs and wants and maybe self-doubts, but I love them, and Alavya is loving them enough to bring them up. So let's just gather those girls and have them all come up the spiral staircase. Anita, Ivana, Ahafta, up into the heart, into that vast open space of Alavya's heart center. And she is the bridge, and she's going to now bring all of the sisters up into Singya's floor. So we wind around that spiral staircase up to the 5th level, which is a small circular blue space filled with sounds and instruments and music. And this is our voice. This is our truth. This is the place where we express that love that Alavya is bringing. And we can also listen and hear messages from spirit. So Singya is the foundation of our spiritual part of the castle. As we go up higher, all of the 5 sisters are moving up now that spiral staircase up into the mind of You See Me. And You See Me is at the 3rd eye. She is up in the place of our crystal castle where there's kaleidoscope of light and colors and patterns. And on the left wing of her floor, she's doing her science and math work. And on the right wing, she's got her art supplies and her creative, fun, imaginative stories and books. And she brings it all together in the center, the insight chamber, where our imagination breaks open and we realize that we see more of ourselves than just our humanity. We see our spirituality, and we move up that spiral staircase to the very crown where Ayamon is sitting on top of a high bed. And the girls climb up and they sit on the top of You See Me's bed, and she opens up the skylights at the roof at the top of the castle. This is our body. This is our crown. Ayamon broken down means I am one with her name. I am one with this great vast cosmos and the light that's coming into all of me and my sisters here. And we sit in meditation. This is the place where we know we are one. We connect with all. We connect with the God source, the angelic realms, the cosmic beings who are always with us. And Ayamon gives all of the sisters the strength and the energy to go back down the spiral staircase and all the way down to the 1st floor of the castle so that they can do their jobs and be the most efficient and effective and brightest that they can be, to be the fullest expression of who they are, both as human and divine. So take a breath and feel the fullness that you are, from heaven to earth and back from earth, grounded to heaven. We are one and connected through the 7 chakra sisters who don't mind little bleeps in technology whatsoever. And so it is, and I'm complete.
Oh,
and
well,
welcome
that was
back.
Beautiful, and thank you so much for this delightful time today. It's always a pleasure to be with you, and while you were gone, I was suggesting this would make a lovely holiday gift, the 7 Chakra Sisters. So, again, can you tell our friends where they can find the books that you've written?
Yes, thank you.
The
7 Chakra Sisters you can find on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And all of my books and the CDs you can find at lindalinkerrosenthal.com or insightout-healing.com. So lindalinkerrosenthal.com is where you can find everything and order it nice and easily, or Amazon or Barnes & Noble and in ebooks. And I love you, love you, love you all. I am delighted that I was able to have this opportunity. Thank you so much, Dee. Thank you, Nanette. You are my sisters of my soul, and I love you. It's been a pleasure and a lot of fun.
I agree. It's been wonderful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yep, thank you, and thank everybody for listening in, and we'll see you again next month.
And hopefully in February you'll be at Scottsdale, Arizona for Celebrate Your Life. Come and meet me and tell me that you heard me at Spirituality in Action from Humanity's Team.
Yay.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yay!
Bye.
Yay. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye, everyone.